up, Elsie. That never happened, you know.
It already has. Bang on midnight last night.
What?
Flaming Saturday.
Do you like Saturdays, then?
Oh, I used to love 'em till I got myself wed to a Geordie who was a mad football fan.
Oh, yeah, it's the match this afternoon, isn't it?
It's the match every Saturday. Stands in the middle of the weekend like the great big knife getting nearer and nearer.
I didn't know Alan was a county fan.
Fan? I'll tell you something. If that team was playing anywhere bar Russia, nothing would stop him. Not hail, rain or atom bomb would stop him.
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? I'll say not. I'll tell you something. If they played well, he's got a sore throat until Tuesday. If they played badly, he's like a hippopotamus with heat lumps all over him.
Ah, never mind, eh? Soon be the cricket season.
Well, that's no consolation. He's just as daft as on them and their matches are longer.
Right, anything else you want while you're here?
No, I don't think
Right,
so.
just 220 then.
Wait a minute. Here.
250 top. Thanks, so. Send it round for you.
Yes, okay. Oh, it's
Is smart Herman in, please?
Just put in the kettle on. There we are, Elsie.
You'll have to forgive her. She never gets as far as the sports pages.
What? Oh. Oh, you're Eddie Duncan, aren't you?
That's right. And you're Maggie Clegg.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Elsie Howard.
How are you?
Oh, not as well as I'll be feeling after 5 tonight when it's all over and done with.
Oh, take no notice of her, Eddie. She don't mean a word of it, really.
Well, honestly, I don't see anything as daft as 22 fellas chasing a bag of wind round a field, unless it's 40,000 people watching them. But then I'm not a fella, am I?
You can say that again.
Oh, she can she, Eddie Duncan? Honestly, a girl can't turn her back a minute round here without somebody trying to pinch a fella.
Now, see, silly lass, I'll tell you something. The day I get caught pinching fellas will be the day. And in my experience, it's always the fella that does the pinching. Ta-ra.
Try. Right, what have you got to say for yourself before I slap your hands and face?
I brought you the ticket for this afternoon's game.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you are going, aren't you?
Well, it's a bit difficult, really.
What do you mean?
Well, it's me and Maggie. We have to run the shop between us, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well. From what I've seen of Mrs. Clegg, I wouldn't think she was the type to stop a girl watching her boyfriend playing football.
Oh, wouldn't you?
No. Not if she knew how much better he would play, knowing she was up there in the stands.
If I were you, Irma, I'd watch this fella.
Oh?
Strikes me as the sort of person who won't take no for an answer.
Here we are then, ladies. A nice cup of coffee for you.
Ah, thank you, Tony,
Okay.
love. Thank
Pleasure.
you. Have your ears recovered yet from last night?
You what, love?
Oh, it's an occupational hazard, is that, early deafness. So, what brings you around this morning, then?
Oh, well, we didn't have much chance of a chat last night, and it always helps to see the place in daylight, I think. We don't do much trade at dinner times, then.
Well, it's hardly worth opening at dinner time half the time, except for the vault, of course. But with what we're doing at night now, it doesn't really matter, you know.
You'll be busy tonight, then?
Oh, it'll be hell let loose in here from about 7 o'clock on.
Well, I'm very glad it's working out for you, Kitty. Of course, it's the kids that have the money these days.
You can say that again. When I think of what I used to have in my pocket when I was their age.
Same here. My mother used to lie in wait for me behind the door on Fridays, and until I tipped up, I didn't get my tea.
The good old days, eh?
I'll say they can put 'em where the monkey put the nuts. Kitty, those go-go'd girls that you had on last night, are they out to come back?
10 a penny, love. We just stuck an advertisement in the local paper and took the first 3 as turned up. Mind you, it's not as if they're proper dancers as such, but after 6 pints, they look like Norma Shearer to this lot who come in here.
That little dark one at the end last night, the one with the cheeky face.
Lita, you mean?
Lita?
Lita Laverne. At least that's what she calls herself. Why, do you know her?
Well, let's just say I think she might be the friend of a friend of mine.
You're not thinking of going out there, are you, without a police escort, Mrs. Walker? I mean, there's some very, very funny fellas running up and down the street, you know, with scarves of many colours on.
Oh, don't be so mingy, you two. I like match day myself. It gives the place a bit of life, I think.
Yes, well, of course, there's life. And then there's life, isn't there, dear?
Come on then, Albert. One to the far post.
Do you mind, Mr. Tatlock?
Hey,
I don't mind if you don't.
But I do mind. I suppose you realise you're making a public nuisance of yourself playing in the street.
Yeah, well, not so much of a nuisance as you're making of yourself interfering with that corner.
The place for football is on a football field.
Oh, well, let me tell you that when football was first introduced into this country, it were always played in street.
And it was also, I understand, a criminal offence, and presumably still is.
Oh, well, I won't argue with you about that. Happen your memory goes further back than mine does.
Are you going to the match then, Kenneth?
No, not really.
You're not a soccer fan?
Well, I used to go and watch our David when he played, but I haven't been much since, you know. Gonna be a good game, then?
Oh, I don't think so. They're playing the bottom of the league, you know.
Oh, yeah, lambs to the slaughter, eh?
Well, if Eddie Duncan turns it on like he did last week, it'll be a cricket score, I reckon.
Shouldn't you be pushing a pram with that?
You get the feeling we're not wanted in here, Albert?
Oh, they can please the blooming selves.
We can.
Look, I want a pint of bitter and a rum and pep. And my mate'll pay, he's working.
The older they get, the sweeter they get, don't they? Give us a drink.
But you don't mind if I join you in here for a few minutes, do you?
I've always said you would one day. What kept you? He's alive.
Now, don't read anything into it, Mrs. Sharples. It's just that when fellas are talking football, I'll sup with anybody, and I mean anybody.
Well, in that case, you better get the round in, hadn't you? Mine's a milk stout, she's on brown ale, and if you're getting one for yourself, I'd make it a double because we've no money for short stuff.
Oh.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Harvey.
Hello, is Anne available?
Available what for?
Well, I'd just like a little word with her about a private matter.
Oh, she's just nipped out to a shop, love. Can I take a message?
Will she be long, do you think?
I shouldn't think so.
Well, I'll just have a small sherry while I'm waiting.
Right.
How do you think Anne's looking these days?
You what?
Anne, do you think she's looking well?
Oh, very well, I thought.
Oh, I think it's marvellous how she keeps so young looking.
How do you mean?
I sometimes think there's more in it than really meets the eye.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, she has dropped one or two hints from time to time. Nothing specific, but of course she wouldn't.
No, I suppose she wouldn't.
Well, you're pushing the boat out a bit, aren't you?
Well, it's, you know how it is. Do you like it?
Thought it was a football match you were off to, not a mass ball at the Midland.
I can't let the side down, can I? You know how it is.
No, I don't, as a matter of fact. How is it?
Well, it was the first time I went to one of the football matches with Eddie. Honestly, I felt awful. Felt as if I fell off a flitting. You should have seen the wives. They was done up in everything except the crown jewels. There's more competition amongst the women than there is to get on the rotten tea.
I see.
What do you reckon to him?
Ooh, very, attractive.
But?
Had more women than you've had hot dinners, I reckon.
You don't have to tell me that.
But, doesn't matter, eh?
I just enjoy his company, that's all.
It's not serious, then?
I don't know yet.
I see. Ah, well, good luck.
Why do you mean with a fella like Eddie I'll need it?
No, I just mean good luck, that's all.
Thanks. And are you sure it's all right? Because I do feel dead bad. Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're breaking your heart, I can tell. Go on before I change my mind. Ta-ra.
Can't I persuade you to come along and see it, Anne?
The Robin Hood? No, thank you, dear.
I don't know why you say that. I mean, we're none of us too old to learn new tricks.
True. But, you know, I think with maturity, one should develop a spirit of selectivity. And the Robin Hood is an experience I just choose to miss. Not my scene, I think is the way Lucille would put it.
Yes, how is Lucille, by the way? Keeping busy, is she?
She couldn't be better. In fact, entre nous, I am absolutely delighted with her. Of course, one shouldn't be entirely surprised. After all, if one brings someone up in the right atmosphere, with the right values, one can rely on them to do the right thing at the right time.
What's she doing for a living these days? The last I heard, she was on the dole.
She has actually got herself a job at the YWCA. Very trying, mind you. It takes up at least 6 of her evenings a week, but she has taken to it like a duck to water.
Well, as long as you're doing something you enjoy doing, that's the important thing,
Yes.
isn't it?
How's your Tina these days since she left school? Still on the buses, is she?
That's right.
Well, I suppose that's very worthwhile work. in its way.
Annie, don't think I'm going on about this, but why do we should come with me to the Robin Hood?
Now, Nellie, you know there is no one in the whole world I would rather spend an evening out with than you. Not the Robin Hood, dear.
Well, it wasn't exactly an evening out that I had in mind. It was more of a professional assessment from someone of sensitivity and refinement.
Oh?
They've changed the name to Aquarius.
Oh, well, if you think I'd be of any help.
I'll pick you up tonight then, 7:30, eh?
Very well. After all, if nothing else, it'll certainly be an experience.
It will that.
Get me a cup of coffee, will you, love?
Oh, we'll have him in the aisles with these, kid.
Yeah, if we don't get ourselves an hernia first.
It's an occupational hazard. This should give us danger money. Hey, can you fasten this up for me?
Ooh, lie down and I'll fan you.
Oh, I've always wanted to wear gear like this. Ever since I was a kid and used to go to the Scratch on Saturday mornings.
Scratch?
Yeah, it was the local picture house near our place. I'll give you 3 guesses to why we give it that name.
Don't bother.
No, doesn't it remind you, though, the pictures? The heroine lying there on the piano top. Suddenly Paul Newman bursts in and starts a barney over me.
You want testing, kid. The only Paul you get in this dump's Paul Johnson.
Oh, is he the one that was in the other night with the velvet suit?
You kidding? Paul Johnson I'm on about. It's that butcher from Fallowfield. You know, the one with the big jag and the clammy hands.
Ooh, the mauler.
Yeah. Says his wife don't understand him. I'm not surprised. The way he tips it down after 9 o'clock, no one can understand him.
Ooh, you're a public danger. You want chaining to a policeman.
Hey, I know one place they got a bundle on you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. YWCA. They'd love you.
4 pints a bit there, gorgeous.
Are you referring to me or to my young friend here?
I thought that would have been obvious, love.
If it's the nearest milk bar you're looking for, try taking the first left down the road.
No, take the first right and keep walking till you get into the canal.
Look, do we get a drink or don't we?
I take it you are old enough to come in here, you lot?
Old enough to vote and die for me country. You come round and back with me, love, and I'll show you what else I'm old enough for.
You know, I thought you'd have had more sense than that, Betty Turpin.
What's that?
Selling firewater to savages.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Shaw, but if they come with any of their monkey and have got a couple of good judo holds, my Cyril taught me, not to mention a very nasty karate chop.
I think it's the haircuts that make people frightened of them lads. But of course, once upon a time round here, there was nothing else but basin crops if you were under 21.
Yes, maybe so, but in them days they didn't go about walking about with big boots on, did they?
Oh, no, it were all clogs in them days, Ena. Now, Billy Kelly was a very famous clog fighter round here, as I remember. Of course, Kelly wasn't his real name, or they always called him that because he come from the Isle of Man. I never knew what his real name was.
Hargreaves.
Oh, that were it, were. I didn't know you knew him.
Oh, of course I knew him.
Well, after he lost his leg in that tram accident, he had to give up clog fighting, so he took up tupper matchings. Only he was never any good at that.
No, well, of course he wouldn't be when he was always a bit soft in the head, was Billy.
Have you seen Mrs. Walker yet?
Didn't she tell you?
Tell me what?
She had to go out with Nellie Harvey. They caught a number 9 broomstick top of Rosamond Street.
She had to go out on a Saturday night?
That's what she said.
Where's she going?
She declined to say.
What did you say when she told you?
Well, what do you think I said? She pays me flipping wages. Hey, about that Nellie Harvey.
What about her?
Well, every time she gets me on my own, she sort of brings the conversation round to the subject of Annie Walker. And then she starts pumping me. But I'm blowed if I know what she's pumping me for.
Footballers, they call themselves, footballers. Do you see them white crosses Jackie Smithers kept putting over to me? What do you think I am, a giraffe or something? Jackie Charlton on a pair of stepladders couldn't get up to them. But it was me the crowd were giving the stick to.
Oh, no, it wasn't just you they was getting on to.
It was me. It always will be while I'm down there. Because I'm the great white hope. Some hope in that team of no-hopers. They don't want Eddie Duncan, they want Batman.
Oh, Oh, well, take no notice. It's only one game.
That's what I'm telling you, Emma. It's not just one game. It's going to be every game. I tell you, the worst mistake I ever made in my life was agreeing to come here. Talk about stiffs. I just feel like packing my bags and getting on the next train out.
Well, why don't you then?
Don't think I haven't thought about it. Take no notice of me, eh? I'm all mouth after a bad game, especially when I've had a stinker myself. What the hell do they expect from one man? I tell you, 6 months down here, and Georgie Best to be an old man.
Georgie Best? Does he play football?
You're daft.
Go on, I bet you say that to all your girlfriends.
No.
Does that hurt you?
Nah, it's nothing. Just a souvenir from that big gorilla of theirs who kept clobbering me. Next time, though.
Don't look so fierce, you might frighten me. Listen, do you want to drink here or shall we go down to the Rovers?
The Rovers is the last place I want to be seen in tonight, especially after today's fiasco.
Why's that then?
Oh, come on, Smiler. There'll only be one topic of conversation in there tonight, and we both know what that'll be, don't we?
How much did you say you got for signing on? 2,000?
Give or take a thou, aye.
Yeah, they might as well give it to Oxfam. Striker? Look, that fella couldn't get a strike going on Liverpool docks on a wet Monday.
Ah, that fair dues, Albert. He wasn't the only one who had a stinker there today.
Oh, aye, but we know all the others are supposed to be rubbish, but he's supposed to be a good one.
He was certainly only a shadow of the fellow we saw last week.
Shadow? He was like the flaming invisible man after half-time. Albert here could have got some of them through balls before
Now, look,
he
they
did.
weren't taking prisoners there today.
Oh, I can't accept that as an excuse, Len. Look, he's big enough to look after himself, is that lad? And as for being a so-called top-class striker, he should be able to play at either role.
Striker? Look, you've none of you seen a striker if you haven't seen Bandy Benson.
Randy who?
Bandy Benson.
Who the hell's Bandy Benson when he's at home?
Oh, Rick, you call yourself a lot of critics and you don't know the first thing about football. Bandy Benson never missed a game as centre forward for County from 1905 to 1915. He made Nat Lofthouse look like a blooming girl guide. And in them days, footballers were footballers, not like these overpaid furries.
Oh, that Bandy Benson, you remember him?
Oh, you mean the fellow with the...
That's the one that used to, you know. Oh, yes, used to be stunting on the side for Lon Chaney in the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know. Oh, very versatile lad with Bandy. Of course, he had to give it up in the end, you know.
Oh, aye?
Yes, you see, every time there was a direct free kick and they made a wall, they used to shoot straight at Bandy's legs and it was a goal every time.
Bandy Benson.
If you feel this intellectual conversation is going over your head, you're perfectly welcome to join Ramsbottom, Enoch and me in the snow. We're having a very lovely conversation about Edie Gormley's gallstones. What's up, love?
Just a growing feeling of insignificance, that's all.
Whiskey Willie.
Something wrong at the tech?
I don't know, Elsie, it's that every time I start a lecture these days, I get this feeling I've been there before.
Yeah, I get that feeling myself every time I light the fire in the morning.
Yeah, but I'm beginning to think that perhaps I took the wrong turning back at the crossroads.
What crossroads?
The time of the accident, you know, when I was offered that new job. It was a challenge and I should have taken it. Instead, I settled for cosy security. Now I'd give anything in life for a challenge, honey. Nobody's offering one.
I say, what? You know them two judo holes your Cyril taught you?
Yeah, what about them?
Well, I'd get them out if I were you, because we're going to need them with that lot any minute now.
Hey, Knocker, the look on that old fella's face. Remember, down on his knees looking for his glasses. Give us your Rossetti.
What do you want that for?
Give us your Rossetti, I said. Come on, give us your matches.
Knock it off. I'll pay 20 pence for that.
Then you should have more sense than support a bum team then, shouldn't you? Because that's what they are, you know. All bums. Come on, give us your matches.
Oi, Geronimo, what do you think you're doing?
Are you talking to me, Mother?
Well, I'm not talking to the cat, and don't call me.
Well, it's like this, see. We was going to set fire to Eddie Duncan, only we couldn't find him. So we're using the Rossetti instead. Sort of a demonstration, you know. Protest, like.
Well, protest outside the street, so get supped up and get out.
And what if we don't then, Mother? Are you going to hit us with your handbag?
I'm in a bit of trouble then, Betty.
Yeah.
Grandad, Grandad, you're lovely.
Hey, yo, we're having a ball. It's uptight and out of sight on a Saturday night, and we're feeling all right. Now, don't forget, we're just going to stop the rocking and rolling, socking and sewing just for a few moments, because I'm going to tell you that later on this evening we're going to stop you fellas grieving, because we got some delicious Dolly Go-Go's who are going to do their ding for you. Right now, let's see you all on the floor doing it one more time, doing your own thing with the sound of taste. Come on, make haste. There's no time to waste. Let's get it on and get it done. Whee-hoo! All right.
Well, you said it would be an experience, Nellie. But enough's as good as a feast. Shall we go?
Oh, no, you haven't seen everything yet, love. There's still the floor show.
Oh, I've seen enough to last me a lifetime.
Yes, but I've still got a full glass, you see, and you know how I hate rushing it.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Let's just turn the sound down here, because it's time for what you've all been waiting for, me dears. We'll have a right royal time tonight, I can tell you. In fact, we've had some fellas waiting outside since 2 o'clock this afternoon to see what's coming on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, knights of the turntables, the girls with feet of solid soul, getting it on and getting it done, the Aquarius Go-Go Girls! All right, girls, let's show them how to move. Let's get it on, let's do the groove.
I'm afraid you'll have to.
Girls, go.
Have to excuse us, Nellie. We really must get back.
Oh, dear, so soon? I was just saying last night, that little dark girl at the end, who I do think she favours your Lucille, don't you?
Lucille! Let's move it. Get it on.
And wasn't there never nothing at all you wanted to be except a footballer?
Well, I'll tell you. I did think of becoming a brain surgeon, but I didn't have the brains.
You clown.
Now, I signed on my 16th birthday. My daddy wanted me to have a trade, but I said off with that. Couldn't be bothered. Football was the only thing I was interested in.
But you can't play football forever, can you?
Well, let's face it, Smiler. I can't play football much longer. You know it and I know it.
And don't you mind?
Do you mean I'm worried? I'm not the worrying kind, Smiler. Something will turn up, something always does.
Well, you can't just depend on something turning up. You must have some idea of what you want to do.
Well, I could always open a pub. A brewery's always interested in backing a footballer. Or I could go into business with our kid if he'd have me.
What do you mean if he'd have you? Don't you and him get on well together?
Oh, yeah, we get along fine. It's just that he'd walk 10 miles to save the bus fare. That's why he was 40 before he was 30. With me, it's always been live fast, die young, and have a good-looking corpse.
David was always very thrifty. I used to pull his legs sometimes about being a bit of a skinflint. But we all have to settle down sometime.
I suppose we do. Sometime.
My mum was in the shop today.
All right.
She wanted to know if you wanted to come round for your tea tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Do you want me to come?
Only if you want to.
Why not?